Well, everybody, welcome back once again to JJ's PC Build. You know, it is JJ with you once again. It's another script, it's another scene, it's another scenario. But you would think after everything we've been through, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, by the way. GPU melting, wallets, RAM pretending to be a luxury item, SSDs collapsing under their own hype, that in the industry would give us a moment to breathe, you know, just one moment. But no, because now we've reached the part of the tower where the floorboards are made of motherboards. And let me tell you, this is where the whole structurally reality starts to wobble. The tower, that is. Motherboards used to be simple. You picked one, you slapped your parts in, and boom, guess what? You had a PC. But now you're choosing a motherboard that feels like signing a mortgage. There are chipsets, sub-chipsets, and hidden limitations, fake features, and enough marketing buzzwords to fill a dictionary. And the companies act like they're doing us a favor. We're excited, so excited, and we're just so excited to bring you, this is the companies, we're so excited to bring you the new Z Series platform. Oh, I bet you are. Yep. Because the Z Series is where they hide all the features behind a paywall. Want PCIe lanes? Z Series? Want proper VRMs? Z Series? Want your motherboard not to burst into flames when you plug in a Gen 5 SSD? Z Series? Meanwhile, the B Series boards are featured, the features are like over here, like, hey, we exist too, The B Series motherboards are just like, hey, what about us? Yeah, you exist with half the features disabled. That's really not too kosher, especially what you pay for them. And the other half is locked under the BIOS settings that requires a PhD to understand. And don't even get me started on Gen 5 support. Every motherboard box screams Gen 5 ready, like it's the second coming of technology. But the moment you actually use a Gen 5 SSD, the whole thing thermal throttles so hard, it might as well be running at Gen 2 speeds. And the heat sinks. Oh my God. The heat sinks. We've reached a point where the M.2 heat sink is bigger than the GPU from 2010. You open the box and it's like, here's your motherboard. Here's your SSD heatsink. And here's I'm just going to say it. Here's a forklift to install it. And then there's the VRM marketing. 18-phase power delivery. Sure. If you really count the doubled phases, the imaginary phases, which we'll get to in a moment, and the ones that only exist in a brochure. Meanwhile, the VRMs run hotter than a summer day in California. So, but don't worry. They slapped a giant piece of metal on top of it and called it thermal armor, because nothing says innovation like a decorative metal plate that traps heat. And the BIOS, here we go. The BIOS, sometimes motherboards boot instant. Sometimes. Others take so long to train the memory that you start to question your life choices. You hit the power button and the motherboard is like, hold on, I'm thinking. thinking about what? Think about what? What are you thinking about? You've had one job for 40 years. Come on, man. And then there's the socket situation. Every time a new CPU comes out, the company looks at the socket and this is how they go. Should we keep this the same, or should we force everybody to buy a new motherboard? And the answer is always the same. New socket, new chipset, new motherboard, new pain, and the prices, the prices. Motherboards used to be the affordable part of the build. Yeah. And now, the motherboard costs more than the CPU. You look at a $500 motherboard and think, wow, this must be incredible. And then you flip it over and realize that it has only two M.2 slots, mid-range VRMs, and RGB that shoves into places nobody asked for. But hey, it has a reinforced PCIe slot. Reinforced for what? Test question. Emotional support? Maybe. And the companies keep acting like this is all normal. Like we're supposed to clap every time they release a new board with the same features rearranged in a different order. Meanwhile, creators are down here trying to build systems that don't explode, don't throttle, and don't take 45 seconds to boot, and don't require a second mortgage. But the tower doesn't care. The tower just keeps growing. Taller, heavier, more unstable, and every time we think we've reached the top of the nonsense, the motherboard floor starts cracking under our feet. But here's the thing. We're still here. We're still building. We're still creating. We're still holding up. And believe it or not, I'm going to hit that. We're still holding up this entire skyscraper of innovation with our bare hands. And we're going to keep calling it, we're just going to keep calling it out, guys. Every chipset scam, every fake feature, every overpriced motherboard with RGB shoved into places that you really don't want it to belong. Because if the tower is going to keep collapsing on us, just keep bundling down, we're at least going to make it entertaining. And trust me, the motherboard madness is only the beginning. So, there's my 2 cents for today. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button. Keep me busy. And if you really feel, gracious enough, put me a positive like. I would appreciate it. Until the next time and the next video, you guys know who it is. We'll see you on the next one.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.